January 6th, 2017. Calling Michael Garcia.
Office of Michael Garcia. Our office hours are Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. If you have reached this message, we are temporarily out of the office or on another line. If you would leave your name, number, and a detailed message, we will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you for calling. Goodbye.
Tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hi, Mr. Garcia. This is Dr. Heidi Woodick in case 15CR1287. This is recorded, and I was hoping to catch you before the end of the day, before you left the office. However, we had a hearing today, and you made statements against the color of law and competency statements regarding me. However, you have not reviewed one piece of material. You have not contacted Oprah Winfrey. You have not contacted any of my famous affiliations, nor have you sat down with me to assess my family affiliations, my personal affiliations of rich and famous people, to even deem me incompetent in that way. And incompetency means you cannot think, speak, or rationalize, and you don't know the contents of the case, not any mental illness of that nature. And it's pretty clear I can be very competent in the courtroom. So you had mentioned that I threatened you. However, I do have those recordings, and I never threatened you, sir. I'm sorry that you interpreted it that way, that I was notifying you about the illegalities and the unlawful constitutional violations in this case, and that you took that as a threat. I never threatened you, sir. So I don't know how you're going to be prepared for trial in a month. I do not want to waive my speedy trial rights, and I'm letting you know that this is recorded. And be it you have conspired on record today with Calalee Bouvet for a competency hold, I wanted to notify you, only notify you, not threaten you. This is no threat whatsoever, and it is recorded. That conspiring to violate my liberties in a unlawful ploy to delay because you said that I left you a message you did not like, that's a hate crime, sir. To then try to say I'm incompetent in the case only because I left you a message, that doesn't stipulate the competency laws. So people have client-attorney problems all the time. That does not mean they're incompetent for a court case. However, I wanted to bring it to your attention that you were conspiring in a penal code violation 212.1, which is called legalized kidnapping. And it is a violation to deprive somebody's liberty in faking a ploy for a need for competency evaluation. You have not even met with me, sir. You have not even looked through the documents, and I have noted that you do not know property law. I've researched you, and I don't see you ever taking any specialty in property law, which this case subject matter does involve property law. It involves water and custody. And I do see that you have done several custody cases, however, no property law. And I don't see that you are capable of handling mail fraud, IRS fraud, interstate stalking cases, which are all federal cases. And so bringing that to your attention was not a threat whatsoever. That is only a notice to let you
If you
become
are
aware.
satisfied with your message, press 1. To listen to your message, press 2. To erase and re-record, press 3. To send your message now, press pound. To specify, thank you. Your message has been sent. Goodbye.
Mind you, Mr. Garcia is not in communication with me, so I can only leave him messages of what needs to happen in this court case. Because he does not respond. He's not cooperating. He still to this day has not arranged an appointment to meet with me. And today is January 10th, 2017.
Office of Michael Garcia. Our office hours are Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. If you have reached this message, we are temporarily out of the office or on another line. If you would leave your name, number, and a detailed message, we will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you for calling. Goodbye.
Tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Mr. Garcia, your message machine had cut me off. This is Dr. Heidi Woodick, 15 CR 1287. This is being recorded. It is January 6, 2017. It is, I wanted to bring to your attention as well that I was calling to get an appointment scheduled, and I have every message I've sent to you recorded. And I reviewed the YouTube site that you listed in the case today that was a threat to you. However, I did review it, and no threat was ever made to you. I'm worried about your own mental state of how your perception is, because if you have wrong perception of those things, you may not be able to perceive this subject matter correctly as bringing to your attention the federal subject matter by the evidence that DA has provided does show that it's outside of your scope of practice and your jurisdiction to practice law. So by Rule 44, it is a misrepresentation of counsel in misrepresenting me. You have stated I've threatened you. However, I've only asked for an appointment. And I've only asked for what's in my civil rights for you to drop the competency hold and to review the competency holds and the fabrication of a need for competency when I indeed fact have all the education I have, and I do in fact have all the affiliations I have, and there is no delusion in that matter. And you have refused. In fact, you have actually done harm in false reporting to the court in your own incompetency, sir. This is recorded, and I will have to report you for what happened today. And it was on transcript. And your conduct was also on video in the courtroom, and you were very hostile with me. And you were combative. You refused to cooperate with me in allowing me time to discuss pertinent case matter with you of how to get you these exculpatory evidence items, and you have refused to dismiss this case or even change the venue or do anything on my behalf, which I do have a civil right to ask of you, and it is within the jurisdiction of this court and the color of law and the Constitution. So my name is Dr. Heidi Woodick, case 15 CR 1287, my number 719-281-5748. And I would like to know when I can come in to speak with you about this case and how you're going to derive going to trial within a month, actually a little over a month, on top of your caseload, because this is a very, very high level, high amount of evidence, and I want to know if you're going to be able to dedicate the time to this case for my fair trial. If not, I'm going to ask that you move this case to a venue change to be in another court.
If you are satisfied with your message, press 1 to listen to your message. To send your message